I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, Madam Clerk Treasurer, can you call the roll, please?
Council President Frank Trevay.
Here.
Council Vice President Mike Wolski.
Here.
Council Member Joe Seeker.
Here.
Council Member Anna Bean. Council Member Ed Loud.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. For regular consent agenda, I just want to make a note, State Rep. Ethan Lawson's in the house, so thank you so much for coming tonight.
My pleasure.
Consent agenda. I had a couple of questions, but Ben was able to get them answered earlier when I called him on a couple of purchases on meals and stuff, so. Does anybody else have any questions?
Sure.
Joseph? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any additional conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 3-0, ayes have it. Citizen comments? Staff reports? Captain Crook.
So, you may have seen on the news recently about these street takeovers. We have partnered up with IMPD and state police, and we have some officers that are working through the grant out there every other weekend or whenever they have these blitzes, so to speak. But not really happening in the town. It could. Nothing's happened in the town yet, but it is kind of surrounding us, so just wanted to put you at ease on that. As far as Musing construction goes, I can report that our guys have been in there 300 times in the last 30 days, which is like 56 minutes total, is what or 56 hours, I'm sorry. It's not very much.
Today, really fast.
56 hours, sorry. And we have ways of tracking that with GPS and whatnot, so. Complaints on golf carts from the public have increased, and we're aware of those. We encourage everybody to still call 911 if they see any reckless behavior. Also, just getting a hold of us so we can go and address the complaint as they come in. But we are actively aware of a couple situations, and we're currently looking into all that. And then lastly, I've had a couple citizens come in concerned about the vehicles in the lot. We just recently we got 7 new cars in. While we were trying to move everybody around in the cars, we've had a couple cars that went down because one had an engine issue and another car got hit by a deer. And so they've all just kind of been sitting at the moment. I have a meeting next week with Enterprise to go over what vehicles we need to look at getting rid of and then start that process. So it should happen very soon.
Thank you, sir. Ben?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit. I like Christine and her department. Her and Nikki and Hannah Victoria put in a lot of effort into submitting grants over the past couple of weeks. Today they got in the Ready 2.0 Lilly Endowment grant for the arts, but they've had, I think, 7 total grant submissions in the past week alone, which is a lot of heavy lifting. So we hope we get good pan-out from that. Separately, the Hancock County Plan Commission training that Christine worked with communities to put together. Jewel will be speaking at, and Rachel Christensen from HWC. It's this Saturday. I think you guys all maybe got an email on that. The council did that. So that will be in Greenfield at the H.A. Rose Theater. Is that correct? So that's this Saturday morning. So they're just trying to get everyone in Hancock County for plan commissions and BZAs together to talk about some of the legislative changes and maybe ways to move the needle to be a little bit more friendly and things, and just things to consider. So, other than that, we got a lot of things going on. There's a lot of ongoing, potentially plan commission filings coming in the future, and you'll have development plan coming back for the Canmore project and some of that in the future as well.
Thanks, Tim. I see no old business.
Yes, sir.
All right, legislative recap. State Rep Boston, how you doing, sir?
Good, how are you? Good. Thank you, Joe, Mike, Greg, Erica, Ben, the Cumberland team, for the chance to come back and be on your agenda real briefly. There's a lot I can talk about with the legislative session behind us. I think I took probably 450 votes in about 8 weeks. So feedback is appreciated. Thoughts on that are appreciated. I thought I would share tonight, as you guys know, we're dealing with the increase of costs for pretty much everything. And so affordability was a really big topic this session. And there were bills that dealt with housing affordability, which I know you guys are familiar with 1001, and we definitely talk more about that. There were bills that dealt with energy and affordability and trying to make that more performance-based with regards to the rates. There was a look at a lot of the state's boards and commissions and trying to decide which of them are still meeting, which of them serve a function, which of them can be consolidated. And so that was a massive effort that I think ended up consolidating about 40 boards and commissions. And then there was a bill, and we do this every session now, dealing with education and trying to look at the massive education code that our schools are dealing with. And cut about 10% of that out every single year. And so we did that again this year. Of course, there were some new laws added as well. So that always balances out. I had 4 bills this session that I filed and was fortunate to pass into law with the support of other legislators for the governor. They dealt with a lot of issues that I've heard people bring to me as I've been out knocking on doors and talking with residents in our communities. So number one, I filed a bill that dealt with homeowners associations. It's mostly proactive, so it doesn't affect most of our existing governing documents. It talks about involving more residents in making the decisions regarding increasing the fees, which I know is something that happens in our community. And then also making sure that we have childcare access, and so that we don't prohibit that activity from occurring in a homeowners association as we continue to grow and build. I had another bill that mostly dealt with county government, but also dealt a little bit with local government, particularly mayors, and trying to make more of the appointments to the boards and commissions to serve the pleasure of our elected officials who represent our neighbors in the communities, and standardizing some county employee handbook things as well. And I'm always happy to try and be helpful in that area if you identify legislative needs or see something that could be worked on. I have a public safety bill. I serve on the Veterans and Public Safety Committee and the Roads and Transportation Committee in the House. I have a public safety bill that streamlined how the Indiana Department of Homeland Security works with a couple of other state agencies. I've also de-conflicted child care regulations. We have 2 different state agencies that were involved in the renewal process for child care, and occasionally their calendars didn't line up. And so we are now no longer going to require that their calendars line up before somebody gets a license renewal, so we don't have people who don't have access to that. And then through my work on the Roads and Transportation Committee, I carried a bill that dealt with fraud prevention and specifically auto dealer matters. And so those were the 4 bills that I personally worked on and carried this session. Obviously voted on a lot more. I'm happy to discuss any of them, take questions on any of them. I plan on sticking around for the duration of your meeting to hear what you might have to discuss today, and then also talk with you or any of the residents who might want to talk with me. I'm always available. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to talk today.
Thank you so much, greatly appreciate it.
You're very
You
welcome.
guys have questions, or just want to have the meetings over and have a, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, new business. Mr. Hodges. In fact, you're at the podium the whole time there.
For resolution 2026-04, it's a consideration to surplus 5 of our items from the DPW, be the 2018 Ram, 2020 Ram, and a 2019 Ram, and our old Henderson salt spreader, and our old zero-turn lawnmower.
I assume all the trucks have been replaced already, then, the pieces of equipment.
Yeah, the 3 trucks on the list have already got their replacements in.
Okay. And I noticed the next one, when I read it, you bought a couple of zero turns.
Last year, I believe, spring of last year.
Yeah, you were right, when we talked here. Time flies.
Okay, so this is, so what you're gonna ask for, the next thing is a replacement for the one you're surplusing, is that it? Okay. And I assume this has any kind of maintenance life, put it that way.
Yeah, commercial mowers typically get traded in at 2,000 hours.
Right.
Ours is at 3,000 hours.
Okay.
It's pretty well past its lifespan.
Gotcha. Joe, you have any questions? I think so.
Are the Dodge, is that being handled through Enterprise? Oh, okay. Very good, thank you.
Do you know what year the mower was purchased by any chance? Just so when I take them off grass out there, I know we have a few of these grasshopper zero turns.
This would be the last one, the other 2 were surplus and removed.
Okay, so this is the last grasshopper.
Yeah, so there's others on
Okay,
there.
okay, gotcha.
Did we go to?
Luke Skaggs. There should be, I think, in 2012, maybe 2013.
I think it's in 2013.
Okay.
Gentlemen, is there more questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion that we approve 2026-04.
Second. I have a motion and a second, any additional conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Everett, topic number 2.
Asking for your approval to purchase a mower to replace our oldest mower. That way we have all 3 matching mowers, take the same parts, same maintenance schedules, and just work.
What was the second item on there? I noticed the ZTR, with the bid proposal is what, 14,000, so is that right?
It's $14,500.
There's a trade-in on that grasshopper.
Yeah, I got you, that's what I remember the second item was,
Yeah.
trading.
I believe that's what it was, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, that helps know what you're thinking of. Thank you, sir. Any questions we have on the purchase of the commercial mower? No, it's almost scrap value, isn't it?
That's what we're
Scrap value, vote council. All right, if there's no additional questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve quote for the new mower for the sum of $14,499.
Second. I have a motion and a second, any additional conversation? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 3-0. Before you leave, how are we doing on signs? Especially like, think some to mind, Mace Drive and some of the others over there.
I believe we got all the signs on Main Drive, Emery. I think a couple others in there replaced.
Okay,
I'll say probably last month,
okay,
maybe towards the end of last month. I've got a order in to replace a handful of missing signs, and there's another one missing the Big Valley Brick Farms, couple in Little, and then Groves, Gilchrist, and to replace the ones that come in the village.
okay, we're actively working on those.
Yeah.
If you could send us an email or send it to Ben, filtered out, whichever, when those get replaced, that would be great, so we can let our constituents know.
Yeah, so you have some more, they're still inventorying. We also met with one of the signage companies because we're looking at branding the signs, to go to blue signs with the town logo on them. It's not really much more expensive when you talk about decaling, so the goal would be some of the main drags that are faded out on Main main roads to switch over to that branded sign, and then as kind of the side streets go out, with those blue signs with the street name, kind of the logo on there. And I think we talked about that briefly at the last meeting, but, that's one of the things that Everett's getting together is pricing on that package.
Okay. I appreciate it. Yeah, keep us in the loop. Like I said, I know a lot of them being faded or over the winter time, kind of taking a hit. So, yeah. And thanks, Ever, you looking up, there's a stop sign there at Tuck Creek Road and Valley Brook.
Not me personally, one of my guys come in.
Thanks. I called Ben. I didn't know, I called Ben and it's like, it's down, but it's, everybody stopping, so. You got it out there pretty fixed pretty quick. Still stop signs kind of a problem, especially there.
On those Roman signs, there's arrow sign that is on our gazebo and grass, and it usually faces people coming down Winchester. And I think I take it out to plow this winter or something, because it's laying on a mulch bed out of the way. There's something that just pop that back in the ground.
What road you said it was on?
Winchester and the gazebo.
So the circle right at the beginning of Valley Brook Village.
Any additional new business?
Yes, sir.
Everett was the star of the show tonight.
Yeah, very much.
Everett did nice.
Thank you.
Council comments? I came back before you say so. Michael? Nothing to comment, thank you. Future agenda items. I know we still need to have admin, right?
Yeah, at your next meeting, we have the financial policies put together, so that's gonna be, you guys have some of those already, investment stuff, but that's gonna set your budget policies for those permanent guardrails we talked about, so that requires balanced budget as far as the sustainable items, anything else has to be declared a project budget, have, reserve, recommendations, you guys can set, reserves, excess reserve numbers on that, like we talked about. Adam and I will have recommendations from the Government Finance Authority. But all those are kind of ready to go, buttoned up. Talked about a little bit before the meeting that, golf carts have been an issue. Eric was talking about it, and Dr. was talking about it. We've been looking at pulling that ordinance together and studying a lot of communities. I like what Noblesville does, so I plan on probably bringing that at your next meeting as well.
You share those, finance policies with me, if you haven't already, it's possibly already there.
I think you were copied on them. Adam is tweeting them, but I can make sure you see what's on there. So it's basically mostly budget policy. It doesn't really change anything from an investment standpoint. So.
Anything else to do the order? Entertain a motion?
Moved.
Sir. So.
Guys are efficient.
I don't know about that. It's shorter than